Greetings, artists. In this video, I am going to show you how to create textured or patterned paper using crayons and found objects. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, I have some special store-bought objects that are meant for creating pattern or texture, but you can find things around the house that also have the same type of pattern or texture. Anything that has, ridges, lines, designs on it can be placed under my paper to create pattern or texture. Also, this little thing, this was made for embroidery. So some other art tools can be used to make pattern or texture, or I could also venture outdoors. I could use actual leaves to place under my paper, or I could also take my paper and my crayon outside with my grown-ups' permission and use things outside. I could put my paper against brick, against a tree, against the sidewalk. So there are lots of things outside that could create pattern or texture. Now I'm going to show you how to actually accomplish that. So I want to cover my whole paper with pattern and texture. So if I have an object inside, or even if I'm outside, I lay my object under my paper, and the trick is to hold your paper really still. So I'm going to hold it down really hard with my hand, and then I'm going to rub with my crayon. If I have crayons that are peeled, it actually works really well to lay my crayon down and rub, but it's not necessary to peel your crayon just for this. You could see that when I was holding my crayon up, it works just fine. Now the fun thing about this, about adding pattern or texture using found objects under my paper, is I can combine patterns, I can combine colors. So I'm going to move my paper over so I can take up this next space, and I'm going to switch colors as well. So I want to cover my whole paper, and now I'm going to overlap my pattern and my texture. So now my blue and my red are going to kind of combine to make violet. So I can do as many colors as I choose. I would recommend using at least 2 because I think it's going to give it it'll give it a cooler effect the more colors you have. I could cover my whole paper with 1 color and 1 pattern, and then I could go back in and add more color and more pattern on top of that. It's completely up to me because I am the artist, so I get to choose how many colors I use, how many patterns or textures. So I'm going to switch back to my red. I'm going to add some leaves down at the bottom. Now the leaf might not transfer quite as well because it's soft. I might have to press a little bit harder. Oh, but there it is. I can see it. And if you have an actual leaf, that might actually work better because it will be not quite as soft as my pretend leaf. Right, so this is how I can use crayon and found objects either in my space or outside, if I'm able to go outside. Just please make sure, again, that you get a grown-up's permission before you use things for your art or before you take your supplies outside to work if you're at home. And you'll want to make sure that you create at least 3 pieces of paper with pattern and texture on it because you'll need 3 separate pieces to create our animal. Happy creating!